have Mr. Manish Tiwari ji, Member of Parliament, Lok Sabha. May I request Mr. A.K. Manish, Founder and CEO of Pledge, to kindly moderate the session. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, Manish ji. It's a pleasure meeting with you through the digital medium, and of course, sir, you need no introduction. Manish ji has published several books over the last decade. Three of his books, which are kind of popular: Decoding a Decade, Tidings of Troubled Times, Fables of Fractured Times, and so on and so forth, apart from being an active, an impeccable speaker in public forums and a member of parliament. Very recently, Manish ji, you have been an active voice in the development of the content, media, entertainment, and digital revolution in the country. And I've spoken about the idea of an electronic film city in Mohali. That aside, post-COVID, you have been vocal in your thoughts on the evolution of business models in the media and entertainment space, and we look forward to hearing from you, sir, your views today on this and how Punjab has and will play an integral role in this digital media revolution. I mean, apart from many favorite pastimes that you have, I'm told that you also love comics. To you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Madhavan. I hope I'm audible.
You are very clear, loud and clear.
Thank you very much. First of all, may I thank CII and my former ministry, Information and Broadcasting, for hosting this event, which is specifically targeted at the visual effects, gaming and animation, and the emerging technologies in the information and broadcasting sector. It is extremely gratifying to note that CII has decided to host an event which is so acutely focused in order to bring best practices on the table, as well as acquaint people with the trajectory and the potential of this new frontier, not so new, but which has still tremendous scope for evolution. Since I've been asked to speak on Punjab, I would first of all commence by greeting all of you from Roopnagar, the district where the Nangal Dam is located, where upstream from the Nangal Dam, the Bhakra Dam is located, which was among the first temples of modern India, which Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of this country, had so actively pioneered. In the year 2011, when Shrimati Ambika Soni, my predecessor, was Minister for Information and Broadcasting, a decision was taken that we would set up a National Center for Excellence, Gaming, Animation, and Visual Effects in Mohali, which is now, of course, a part of my parliamentary constituency. The government of Punjab, and it was an Akali Dal BJP government, allotted 12 acres of land for the said project in Mohali, which is also called Sahibzada Ajit Singh Nagar. Unfortunately, the project could not take off primarily because we were not able to crystallize the public-private partnership model. And after I took over as Minister of Information Broadcasting in the October of 2012, despite my pushing it very vigorously, unfortunately, Planning Commission had a certain view as to how the public-private partnership model should be structured, and the INB ministry, which was then being on this particular project, led by Mr. Raghavendra Singh, who is now with the Nehru Memorial, had a different orientation. To cut a long story short, in 2014, the NDA BJP government came into office, and they decided that they would relocate this project to the film city in Mumbai, in Goregaon, if I remember correctly. I do not know as to what the status of that project is, but I do hope that between 2014 and 2020, some substantive progress would have been made to operationalize that particular endeavor, which was taken from Mohali to Mumbai. Subsequently, while I was reviewing some developmental activities in my own constituency, I happened to inquire about the status of this land, and I found that the land was still under the possession of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. I then wrote to the current minister, Mr. Prakash Javadekar, who and I have spent a long time sparring on television in our respective roles as spokespersons of our parties at a different point in time, that either the INB ministry do something with the land, or they should return the land to the government of Punjab. As is with the government of India, we did not hear back from them. And the government of Punjab then cancelled the allotment of that land and decided to take it back. And so, therefore, the Greater Mohali Urban Development Authority, GAMADA, it is called. I can't get the exact full name of each acronym that they use because these acronyms can be fairly confusing, is now in possession of that particular piece of 12 acres of land, which is about 5 minutes from the Mohali International Airport. The Chandigarh Airport is in fact situated in Mohali. So therefore, when you do land in Chandigarh, you do land in my parliamentary constituency and not the Union Territory of Chandigarh. It's a different matter. It's called the Chandigarh Airport. So this particular site is about 5 minutes drive from the airport, or maybe 7 minutes at best. And the government of Punjab, I spoke to the chief minister and I said that, look, we have a very diverse land. We have a syncretic culture whereby the values of liberalism, the values of tolerance, the values of plurality, the values of live and let live, of let creativity flower, let 1,000 flowers bloom, is so institutionalized into our psyche that I think it would be ideal if we were to set up either a national center of excellence in gaming, animation, visual effects, or even a film city, or for that matter, something to do with artificial intelligence. I said, rather than give it to some dumb builder who would put up some ugly building out there, it would really bring value to Mohali, which has emerged as a center of software development. The Infosys campus is also coming up there. A large number of other information technology majors are located out there. We have certain institutions of international repute. The International School of Business is located out there, and I can go on chapter and verse. So therefore, there's a huge ecosystem of intellectual vibrance and vitality which has come to characterize Mohali. Plus, it's very easy living. Rents are still extremely economical. Chandigarh, Mohali, and Panchkula are actually a tri-city with one merging into each other seamlessly. If you drive 45 minutes, you are up in the hills. So therefore, you can fish, you can hike, you can do mountain biking, and of course, there's excellent schools and there's a lovely academic environment across the Tri-City. So therefore, we felt that we must try and promote this particular site and use it in a dedicated manner for this purpose. I then reached out to the media and entertainment committees of CII, FICCI, and ASSOCHAM, and Punjab government has formally written to them proposing that these sites the site is available in a public-private partnership mode, or if someone wants to, let's suppose, buy it outright and do something with it. Also an option. Essentially, the idea is that if we can get more creativity, more diversity into our planned city, which is almost a carbon copy, not almost, but a carbon copy of Chandigarh in its layout. It would enrich us, and plus, given the fact that we are diverse, we are liberal, and we are not weighed down by either majoritarianism or the censor in the head, which has become such an impediment to creativity across our great land. We would actually be able to give people the space to create, to be able to experiment, to innovate without any fear of retribution or without any fear that somebody is going to come and question them, or somebody is going to come and intimidate them. And in any case, as I understand that the film infrastructure around the country is fairly saturated. I do not know as to what is the position with the other genres, but that in brief is our proposal, and we would like to welcome you to our state of Punjab, and we would try and do everything to it if we are able to make this endeavor get off the ground. Thank you very much. That's all I really had to say. You're muted.
Are we a couple of questions?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, what is, sir, your take on the social acceptance of AVGC as a valid career option or a career choice for the youth? What are the perceptions around this in the state?
Would you repeat the question, and could you amplify on the acronym?
I wanted to understand your thinking or your information on the social acceptance amongst the youth on the animation, visual effects, graphics, as a valid career choice for them. What are the perceptions about this in the state of Punjab, about a career opportunity in gaming and visual effects?
Let me answer that question with an anecdote. Once senior counsel was asked by an equally eminent person that where do you practice? Do you practice law in the district courts, in the high court, or the Supreme Court? So he replied, he says, you pay me my fees, I will argue before a lamppost also. So the analogy being, we are a state which is extremely aggressive in people going abroad in search of employment opportunities. And our people believe in the dignity of labor. They do not find any work to be demeaning as long as they are remunerated for their hard work. So therefore, that is why you would find people from our parts, especially the constituency which I represent, almost all over the world. There are taxes, there are people who do menial work, lawyers, there are very highly paid doctors, there are people in business, and who've really come up from the bootstraps. So therefore, under those circumstances, there is no question of social acceptability or unacceptability. The Punjabi film industry or the Punjabi creative ethos is actually very, very rich and diverse. We have a great tradition of theatre in Punjab. We have a great tradition of filmmaking in Punjab. Unfortunately, most of the movies end up getting made in Mumbai. Once, when I offered the Punjabi film industry that I locate one office of the much lamented Central Board of Film Certification in Mohali, They said, well, please don't waste your time because in any case, all of us do our work in Mumbai. So therefore, we actually want to create something which is not an alternative to Bollywood or the various other woods, which are flourishing in this country, but to create a genuine hub of creativity, of enterprise, of of innovation. And so therefore, we are a people who are free of hang-ups. So therefore, I think the social acceptability question is a complete non sequitur.
No, it's more about technology, and it's more about the animation courses. It's about kind of having training programs at the school and university levels. It is more skills. It is more about the interest and the way the demographics of Punjab, the potential out there amongst the youngsters out there. I mean, is there an intent and appetite in the creative space? I'm sure, when it comes to the other sectors, be it legal or brick and mortar or agro or many other industries that have been in play there for many, many decades. I wanted your thoughts more on the potential to introducing courses in terms of upping the skills in the digital animation and those kind of spaces. It was more from that perspective, not about the
I think it's a question of creating the ecosystem, right? So
Sure.
therefore, I would not be able to answer it off the bat that what is the existing ecosystem which subsists in the state. But obviously, if every other kid wants to be a Punjabi singer, or for that matter, is fairly active in terms of animation on platforms TikTok, which of course now has become a taboo because of the current situation. I don't think that there should be a problem of skill sets or a problem of interest. It's just a question of binary the ecosystem. And once we are able to, let's say, get an institution in place, I'm sure the government would also follow up and try and supplement the industry with the appropriate support which they require in terms of getting the human material by either introducing or upgrading whatever existing skill sets or whatever existing resources are available in the state. So I don't think that's a problem there.
Wonderful. That is interesting to know, because I'm very excited about this, because it'll be nice if one more state can contribute to the industry, which is animation, because animation, is one sector or one. During the COVID time, we've seen the film industry in the live action space has its own challenges, but the animation space kind of continues to grow in geometric progression globally because it's all digital, and you can still have great storytelling out of this. So I'm glad that if at all, if any of us from the industry who are listening to this would volunteer or kind of take this further in terms of discussions and kind of exercising the skill sets and utilizing those skill sets, I'll be very personally pleased, because I've been involved in this industry for over a couple of decades now.
Thank you very much. If that's all, I would take your lead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manishji. Thank you. Wonderful having you here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you, Mr. Madhavan, for chairing the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers.